I was probably 22 or 23 at the time. Just a kid from Texas, mesmerized by all the beauties of the city. And I remember sitting in City Hall Park, looking up at the building, being like, good God, what is that building? It's so beautiful.
So when I first came to New York City, I was 18 years old, and I toured New York everywhere. And one of the tours was the Woolworth building. And inside we went into the lobby, and it was absolutely jaw-dropping to see that much beauty in one space. One of the nicknames of the building has always been the Cathedral of Commerce, and it felt like that. It felt reverent.
I remember going home and trying to figure out what building it was, and it was the Woolworth building. And then of course this avalanched into my lap of all the history of the building and just how important of a landmark it was for not only New York, but the world.
Frank Woolworth was essentially the Jeff Bezos of his time. So he was one of the original American entrepreneurs, a winner. And at the time in our history, one way to prove that you were a winner was to have a tall building.
It was a collaboration between Frank Woolworth and Cass Gilbert, sort of the architect of the day. They built it up to probably about where we are now in the building, 29 floors. And then there's a very famous correspondence between Frank Woolworth to Cass Gilbert and said, how high can we go?
And this building was at Frank Woolworth's mandate to go as high as it could go.
And it was that point in human history and in our country's history where we were very much building and proving ourselves. Frank Woolworth wanted to prove himself. Cass Gilbert wanted to prove himself. And this building is a direct result of that. So what you're sitting in now is, in fact, a trophy of sorts.
The excitement was palpable at the time. And one of the things that's very interesting about this building is that excitement never left the building.